Good evening, and welcome back to the Archive of Truth. Welcome to News Around. 4 days, a thick fog has descended upon the landscape of Turkish celebrity news. It was a fog born of silence, fueled by speculation, and centered around two of the most cherished hearts in the industry, Özge Yağız and Gökberk Demirci. We heard the rumors of a breakup. We felt the tremors of a separation. But until today, we were navigating in the dark, left to wonder if this fairytale had truly reached its final page. However, the silence has finally shattered. The walls of privacy have been breached, not by a scandalous leak, but by a voice of love and authority. Ezgi Yağız, the protective sister who has stood as a guardian at the gates, has finally stepped forward to untangle the knots of this emotional crisis. What she revealed was not a eulogy for a dead relationship, but a diagnosis of a wounded one. It is a story of pride, of exhaustion, and of a love that is simply too stubborn to fade into the night. Today, we are analyzing every syllable of Ezgi's revelation. We are reconstructing the night of the argument, the week of regret, and the digital lifeline that kept Özge and Gawkberg connected even when they were apart. Before we delve into this intimate family portrait, I have a request for our loyal community. If you value journalism that treats celebrity lives with dignity and depth, please make sure you are subscribed to News Around. And for those who wish to be the pillars of our channel, I invite you to click the join button right next to the subscribe icon. Your membership allows us to tell these stories with the patience they deserve. Now, let us listen to what the sister had to say. The atmosphere surrounding the breakup of Özge Yağız and Gökberk Demirci has been stifling. 4 days, the press has besieged the family, hungry for a confirmation of the end. Ezgi Yağız, initially reluctant to speak, stood as a dam against this flood of inquiry. But as the pressure mounted and the narrative spun out of control, she made a decision. She decided that the truth, no matter how vulnerable, was better than the fiction being written in the tabloids. "There's nothing wrong with knowing some things now," she admitted, her voice carrying the weight of a sister who has watched a loved one suffer. With those words, she began to dismantle the architecture of the breakup. What she described was not the catastrophic collapse that the media had painted. It was not a betrayal, nor was it a fundamental incompatibility. Instead, Ezgi framed the events of the past week as an emotional storm. It was a temporary weather system that passed through the landscape of their relationship, violent enough to cause damage, but not powerful enough to destroy the foundation. She emphasized a crucial distinction: this was not a complete separation. It was a brief arrangement, a pause button pressed in panic by two people who simply forgot how to communicate amidst the noise of their lives. To understand the cure, we must understand the malady. Ezgi Yağız did not shy away from diagnosing the root cause of this crisis. "In my opinion, this doesn't even count as a breakup," she stated boldly. But if it wasn't a breakup, what was it? It was a mistake made in the heat of the moment. The villain in this story is not Gawkberg, nor is it Özge. The villain is exhaustion. We often forget that behind the glamour of the screen, these actors are subjected to grueling schedules, sleepless nights, and the relentless pressure of public expectation. According to Ezgi, these accumulated pressures created a powder keg. All it took was a spark. That spark came in the form of a misunderstanding. Ezgi described her sister as a woman who lives with her heart. Özge is an artist in the truest sense, deeply feeling, incredibly sensitive, and occasionally struggling to manage the tidal waves of her own emotions. On that fateful day, the internal pressure was too high. A feeling of abandonment, born not of reality but of vulnerability, clouded her judgment. One word spoken, one wrong tone amplified everything, Ezgi explained. "It is a tragedy of errors. Gawkberg had different intentions, but in the echo chamber of stress, his words were twisted into rejection." The most poignant part of Ezgi's testimony concerns what happened after the door slammed shut. "We have all been there. The moment where anger subsides, but pride steps in to bar the door against reconciliation. Özge, succumbing to this pride, made the sudden decision to be alone. "I want to be alone for a while," she declared. But solitude, as she quickly learned, is a heavy garment to wear when you are in love. Ezgi painted a vivid picture of her sister's life in the days following the split. It was not a time of liberation, it was a time of haunting. As the adrenaline of the argument faded, the true feelings surfaced like wreckage after a storm. Before a week had even passed, her eyes would fill with tears every time she heard Gawkberg's name, Ezgi revealed. The house became a museum of memories. Özge was found constantly looking at old photos, tracing the outlines of a happiness she had rashly pushed away. At night, when the distractions of the world fell away, she was left with the gnawing question that plagues all lovers who leave too soon: did I do something wrong? Her heart, according to Ezgi, had already shouted the answer. Yes. She missed him terribly, a longing so acute it physically hurt. I want to pause here and ask you, the empathetic viewers of News Around, have you ever made a decision in anger that you regretted the moment you calmed down? Do you think pride is the biggest enemy of love? Share your experiences in the comments below. We are all human, and Özge's struggle is one we recognize in ourselves. If Özge was the storm, Gawkberg was the mountain. Ezgi's account of Gawkberg's behavior during this separation paints him in a light of extraordinary maturity and patience. He was the one who was left behind, his heart broken by a sudden departure he didn't fully understand, yet he did not lash out. Gawkberg showed a mature attitude. He gave her time, Ezgi stated. He did not bombard her with desperate pleas. He did not launch a PR campaign to clear his name. Instead, he waited. He understood, perhaps better than Özge did at that moment, that she needed space to realize her mistake. He inquired about her well-being through mutual friends, ensuring she was safe without invading her solitude. He was hurt, but he didn't hurt her, Ezgi summarized. This is the definition of true love. It is easy to love someone when they are making you happy. It is much harder to love them when they are pushing you away. Gawkberg's silence spoke volumes, louder than any grand declaration. It was a silence that said, I am here. I am not going anywhere. I will wait for the storm to pass. In times of crisis, family often acts as the mirror that shows us who we truly are. Ezgi Yağız played a pivotal role in guiding her sister back to reality. She admitted to the journalists that she did not hide her feelings. She saw the pain Özge was in, and she refused to let her sister hide behind a shield of false strength. I just told her, if your heart still beats for him, don't hide behind your pride, Ezgi recounted. It was the advice Özge needed to hear. It forced her to confront the fact that her stubbornness was the only thing standing between her and her happiness. Ezgi also clarified the family's stance on Gawkberg, dispelling any rumors of bad blood. We know Gawkberg not only as her boyfriend, but also as a good person, she said. He is loved and respected within the Yağız household. This endorsement is crucial. It tells us that the foundation of their relationship extends beyond just the two of them. It is rooted in a community of support. There is no need to dramatize the events, Ezgi argued. This is not a soap opera. It is real life, messy and complicated. Perhaps the most hopeful detail to emerge from this interview is the revelation that the silence between the couple was never absolute. Even in the darkest days of the week, a thin digital thread connected them. They hadn't completely cut off communication. Ezgi commented that they exchanged brief but meaningful messages. They were not long paragraphs of exposition or rehashing the argument. They were simple check-ins. Are you okay? How are you? In the lexicon of love, these three words often mean I miss you, I am thinking of you, and I still care. Sometimes a single "Are you okay" message says more than pages of conversation, Ezgi noted wisely. These small contacts were the pulse of the relationship, faint but steady, proving that the heart of their bond was still beating. It was a clear indication that neither party could completely distance themselves from the other. The magnet was too strong. Ezgi framed this brief separation not as a failure, but as a necessary evolution. Özge did not use this time to party or to forget, she used it to confront herself. It was a period of self-awareness. She questioned her past mistakes, she analyzed her reactions, and she understood her feelings more clearly than ever before. This period was not a respite for Özge, but a period of self-awareness, Ezgi explained. Sometimes, two people need a short distance to see the whole picture. When you are standing too close to a painting, You see only the brushstrokes, you need to step back to see the masterpiece. Özge stepped back, and what she saw was that her life was infinitely better with Gawkberg in it. Her heart still belongs to Gawkberg. She can't deny it, Ezgi affirmed. This period of reflection has reportedly made Özge calmer and more appreciative of the beautiful memories they share. She has realized that the pain of separation is far worse than the friction of a misunderstanding. If you are rooting for this couple as much as we are, please consider supporting the channel. Clicking the join button helps us continue to bring you these exclusive insights. Your support is the heartbeat of News Around. And don't forget to subscribe. As we conclude this report, the heavy clouds of rumor are beginning to part, revealing a ray of hope. Ezgi Yağız's testimony has reshaped the narrative from one of finality to one of continuity. This was not the end of the story, it was merely a cliffhanger at the end of a chapter. The gossip columns are buzzing with renewed energy, but this time, the speculation is positive. The question is no longer why did they break up, but when will they announce their reunion? Ezgi's words have generated a flood of hope. The longing is mutual. The respect is intact. The families are supportive. And the communication lines are open. If there's a strong bond between two people, the pain that arises between them doesn't last, Ezgi concluded. It is a sentiment we can all hold on to. We will continue to watch, to wait, and to hope for the official reconciliation that seems inevitable. What do you think, News Around family? Is a short break sometimes healthy for a relationship? Do you believe Özge and Gawkberg will come back stronger than ever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Please, do not forget to like this video if you appreciated the deep dive into this story. Subscribe to News Around so you never miss an update. And a massive thank you to our Join members, you make this channel possible. Until next time, don't let pride stand in the way of love. Goodbye.